Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Ladies and gentlemen, check the notches on your arm because it's been exactly 1 week since the election. And already, this is becoming a country I no longer recognize because right here in New York City today, Mayor Adams instituted a ban on trash bag mountains. No mountains of trash bags on the sidewalks of New York? What's next? No masturbators on the F train? To paraphrase the great Cat Stevens, without mountains of trash, where do the children play? Daddy, I wish we could build a trash man. One time I put a hat on it and it came to life. No, son, that wasn't a magic trash man. You just woke up Rudy Giuliani. Today, thank you. Today, this whole thing is all part of a plan, right? Today is just the next stage in what city officials are calling Mayor Eric Adams' trash revolution. Well, of course, our nation, from the days of its founding fathers, had a proud history of trash revolution. Who can forget this song from Hamilton?
I am not throwing away my
trash.
City Hall is giving homeowners a couple months to get it together, but starting on January 2nd, landlords who flout the rules will face fines of $50. Ooh, $50, so scary. It's New York. My coffee costs 75 bucks. The free milk you put in it yourself, 50 bucks. Greatest city in the world. Of course, down in Washington, giant piles of trash are about to take power. Trump has begun, Donald Trump. True. Yeah, you won. Trump has begun naming his cabinet, and he's expected to pick Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. I'm sorry, I misread that. It should be Lil Secretary of State. This is actually kind of surprising. Trump and Rubio, as I'm sure you know, have a long and checkered history. Back when Rubio was running against Trump in the 2016 primary, he hit Trump below the belt.
He's always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me, he's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2". And you know what they say about men with small hands?
They keep your balls in a jar on their desk. So what changed in their relationship? Well, Rubio saw that people like Trump more than they like him, so he set his lips on butt smooch, and apparently Trump noticed how enthusiastically Rubio hit the surrogate circuit and the campaign trail. Oh, okay, so even if you spend years insulting Donald Trump, you can get back in his good graces just by praising him. Which is why I'd like to take this opportunity to say to our new president-elect, pass. If appointed, now, if appointed, Rubio would also make history as the first Latino to ever serve as the nation's top diplomat. Now, that's a big milestone. And we here at The Late Show are always looking for silver linings to this next administration. So let's go to my writer, Caroline, who is Latina. Caroline, are you ready to celebrate the first Latino Secretary of State?
Sí se puede.
Thanks, Caroline. Caroline, one of my writers, everybody. Thank you. You look fantastic. Joining Rubio in the splash zone will be South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who will serve as Trump's Secretary of Homeland Security, which means DHS now stands for Dogs Hide Shotgun. I know. It's important not to focus on that one time Kristi Noem shot a dog, because it's just as important to remember that she also shot and killed her family's goat. We go now live to America's Barnyard for a reaction to Noem's appointment. Trump has also selected Lee Zeldin to run the EPA. Now, you may not know much about Lee Zeldin because he's from New York, but we all, live and work here in New York, and we also know nothing about him. It's Congress? He was in Congress? He was in Congress. After getting the gig, Zeldin went on Fox News to praise his boss.
President Trump, when he called me up, gosh, he was rattling off 15, 20 different priorities, a clear focus.
Oh, yes. Nothing says clear focus like having 15 or 20 priorities. Reminds me of when FDR said this.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Also spiders and bears and clowns and the Babadook and calling someone you know the wrong name and then it's too late to go back and ask and accidentally eating a staple from the takeout bag.
One Trump ally who hasn't been asked to join the administration is Trump's former attorney and mortuary test dummy, Rudy Giuliani. It's been a bit of a tough ride for Rudy lately. He's losing all his assets, you see, after he was ordered to pay $148 million to the two Georgia election workers that he defamed with the big lie. Yeah. He hasn't turned over everything yet, but last week his checking account was seized, and now Rudy says he's too broke to buy food. And as of today in New York, there are no more mountains of garbage for him to pick through. But you know what? I am not worried that Rudy's going to starve this winter any more than a squirrel would, because we know he's great at digging for nuts. Rudy Giuliani, it's an oldie but a goodie. Yeah. Rudy Giuliani is not the only one who's a little shaky right now. A lot of Americans are feeling unsettled since the election, which is one of the reasons why, according to Google, Internet searches for how to move abroad are up by more than 1,000%. There's also been a spike in searches for frosting near me, induced self-coma how-to, and cried so hard I pooped, question mark? Additionally, that is the laughter of recognition. Additionally, U.S. searches for move to Canada increased by 1,270%. Making this a perfect time to debut my new reality show, Who Wants to Marry a Mountie? Andrea, we really connected over the pasta dinner. Will you accept this moose? Come here, fella. Yeah, it was a moose on a leash.
Right.
That's how you lead moose around, on a leash, right? That's what you do. There was also a massive increase in searches like cost to move to Canada from U.S., can I move to Canada if Trump wins? And moving to Canada requirements. Well, I can help you there. You'll need to know that up there they call winter hats toques. They think ketchup is a potato chip flavor. And up there, munchkins are Timbits. Which raises the question, which bits of Tim do they want you to munch on? If you want to flee the country, but can't get into Canada, one cruise line is offering 4-year trips to people looking to avoid a second Trump term. The cruise takes place on a ship called the Odyssey. Because when I think positive travel experience, I think the Odyssey. All right, everybody, welcome aboard. First stop is...
Wow. Didn't see that.
You're very kind, but the monologue's not over yet. That's the reaction of a group of people going, let's just wrap this up, buddy. I was about to embody the cruise director on Odysseus' ship. Let's give that a try, shall we? He might say something like this. Welcome aboard, everybody. First stop is Cannibal Island. Then we're captured by a one-eyed monster, but first things first, you gotta strap you to the mast so you can resist the siren's call. Oh, calm down, everybody back home thinks you're dead. Moving on. Wow, this is gonna be a long 4 years. Listen, I want to talk for a moment about Wheel of Fortune, the #1 show to watch while mom heats up soup. This week, my friends over at Wheel went viral for one contestant's attempt to solve the puzzle.
I'd like to buy a U.
Well, you're going to get 3 U's.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Treat yourself a round of sausage.
I've seen that footage before, and it took me by surprise. I love his confidence. Yes, he solved the puzzle of my broken heart. Our wounded nation needs to treat ourselves a round of sausage. But sadly, ladies and gentlemen, sadly, that answer was incredibly, indelibly, eternally wrong. After the gentleman, whose name I believe is Will, after Will missed the answer by a lot, it was his rival's turn.
Over to Katina.
I would like to solve.
Okay.
Give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, good job, Katina. Good job, Katina. You did it, girl. And you know what? Treat yourself a round of sausage, everybody. We got a great show for you tonight. My guest is Francis Ford Coppola. But when we come back, I announce this year's Sexiest Man Alive.